Get ready to turn up the heat and add a dash of rhythm to your kitchen. Welcome to Neighbors Cooking, the show where flavor meets fun right next door. Hello and warm welcomes to all of our home chefs out here. I'm your host, Chef Mitch, ready to stir things up on another exciting episode of Neighbors Cooking. Today's show is simmering with excitement, so I'll be sharing my secret weapon, the award-winning chili recipe that has everybody talking when I make it. We'll chop, we'll saute, and we'll spice our way to chili perfection. But that's not all. Our kitchen will be sizzling with more than just stovetop action because we have a special treat for you as well. Joining us today is none other than DJ Mod Girl, Kellee, voted the best of the Valley 2023. She'll be joining me in the kitchen, adding that extra flavor to our cooking beats. We can't wait to get cooking and grooving with Kellee, but first, let's take a quick dive into the rich history of chili. Legend has it that chili began back in the good old days of Texas. Cowboys and pioneers combined the dried beef and suet and chili peppers to create what was called a chili brick. That really paved the way for Texas, for chili to expand and become more creative all across this country. From those humble beginnings, chili has spread like wildfire across our nation, taking on new forms and gathering fans in every corner. And today, you'll see why when I share my award-winning chili bubbling away on the stove. So grab your aprons, prepare your taste buds for a symphony of flavors, and don't forget, after the show, visit our website for the full recipe and DJ Mod Girl's hottest playlist to keep your kitchen party going. Are you ready? I sure am. Let's eat, let's dance, let's get this going with Neighbors Cooking. I'd like to introduce my friend and music aficionado, Kellee, DJ Mod Girl.
Well, hello!
How are you?
I'm so excited to be here. I brought my apron.
You look amazing. You
Thank
can't see
you.
her shoes here, but they are just, there we go, spectacular. Now I gotta wash my hands.
Oh, yeah. I don't know where these feet
Don't know
have
where your
been.
feet have been.
These boots are made for walking.
So Kellee and I became friends a few years ago, maybe 3 years ago. You were at Pride.
Yes.
And she was busking on the boulevard.
Yes, I was busking on the boulevard.
And now you're the top DJ in Palm Springs. That's amazing.
Huh? Yeah.
You are everywhere.
I'm having a good time.
What are some of the shows and some of the gigs you're doing right now?
Well, I do Oscar's Tea Dance. I have a radio show on K-Gate every Sunday. I'll be playing the pre-show for Pride Night at Acquisier on Friday.
Yes.
And you know, Modernism Week, and
busy.
I have anywhere from like 5 to 10 gigs a week.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
I'm so honored that I could get you here. My God, you have an open schedule on a Wednesday.
I did, yes.
Amazing.
So this is a kitchen.
This is a kitchen, right? You never come in a kitchen. So most of you don't know, when I'm doing a show, I send out a questionnaire to my guests just to get a general feel what their cooking experience is, what they know how to do and what not to do. And Kellee,
yeah,
you know nothing.
Well, I know a few things.
Okay.
I know that you need to take the cardboard out from under the frozen pizza before putting it in the oven. I learned that twice.
So it all curled
It all
up.
curled up. And I know that when you're steaming broccoli, you probably shouldn't leave the room and start making a mashup mix.
Because it'll burn. And
well, like 2 hours later, I was like, who's cooking popcorn in the neighborhood? And I mean, technically, I think it was steamed.
That's okay. Even the most experienced chefs. I was doing hard-boiled eggs once. And I put them in the pot, and I put my, I'm like, okay, 7 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever it was. I left, I got engaged in whatever else I was doing, and then I smelled and heard popping eggs. And the smell was just horrific, and my kitchen was filled with black egg smoke. The fire department came because it set the fire alarms off.
Were they hot?
They were hot.
Okay, that's why he did it, okay? Blame it on the eggs.
I was disappointed you didn't bring your boyfriend tonight.
Well, maybe.
She has an amazing, beautiful boyfriend who takes pictures of all of her gigs and all of the work she's doing.
Yeah.
He's like your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah, he is. He's great.
Orlando. So imagine Orlando, and you can get the picture because it's a great name and it fits.
We want this to be about me.
And it will be. So we're going to make some chili.
I love it. I love chili.
You like chili?
I do.
And do you like spicy chili or not spicy chili?
You know, medium. I mean, spicy is a relative,
It's a relative term, yeah. So we're going to make a pretty simple chili that we can do in 30 minutes. And chilies can take a long time. They can take hours. They can take hours.
Yeah.
This is a chili that I first learned how to make in Georgia. So I was living in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was in a grocery store buying stuff for chili, and I had this lovely little black lady who came up to me and asked me what I was making. I told her, and she goes, "Oh, I can show you how to make chili." And she came to my house.
Oh, wow.
From the grocery store. She was like 120 years old.
I love
My friends were like, "You're the only one who can go to the grocery store and come home with something."
Oh, with the right? That's a whole other series.
It's not just the bars. I can do that.
Okay. That's a whole other TV series.
Right?
Okay.
So she came in and we sat and we made cornbread and chili. So that's what we're going to do tonight.
That.
In honor
What's
of
her name?
Edna.
Edna.
So we are going to celebrate Edna and make Edna's now my award-winning recipe. I've won 2 national chili cook-offs with this recipe.
Really?
And a local state competition. So it is good chili.
Well, be prepared to have your reputation tarnished.
All right. So let's go a little bit into what the ingredients are that we're putting in today. So the recipe actually calls for 5 uncooked bacon that you would cook in the pot. I cooked it in advance, but I saved my bacon grease because we're going to cook the onions and other things in the bacon grease. So
okay.
I just cooked them in advance because every week when I do a show, if it's got too much smoke that comes off of it, my fire alarms go off, and then it's just a tragedy. We have to stop.
Not really.
Yeah,
Then the hard firemen come.
So I took the fire alarms off now. I have none in the house.
Don't do this at home.
So back to the recipe. We've got 5 strips of cooked or uncooked bacon. We're going to use a large onion that we're going to dice. We're going to use 2 pounds of ground beef. We're going to put in brown sugar, garlic, cumin, chili powder, ancho chili powder, onion powder, salt and pepper, and cayenne pepper.
I love your dishes.
So those aren't they cute?
They're so cute.
Things you can't get at international market. What is that? Is that what it's called? International market or
World market?
World market. There you go.
Know.
Sorry, world market.
International, world.
World, it's all the same. And then I use, and it calls for Worcestershire sauce. Now I use this bourbon-aged Worcestershire sauce. It's better than Lee and Perrins. It's aged in a barrel like whiskey is. And it's just got much more flavor.
And they're the sponsor for your show?
Not them. No,
oh, they should be.
Yeah, you know, Facebook doesn't let you have a liquor sponsor. I can't even drink on the show.
Oh.
Because they block it and say it's you know, anyone under 21 can't see something that you're drinking on.
Oh.
They're very strict about it. I know.
Oh.
I know. So think about that when you're doing it.
Okay.
No liquor. We have some beef broth that's going to go into it. We also have diced fire tomatoes, kidney beans, black beans, Ortega green chilies, and tomato paste. That is everything that goes into a chili.
Done.
Done. Now we just got to make it done, all right?
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to put you back here on this stove.
Don't put baby in the corner.
I'll let you out in a little bit.
Okay.
All right, there we go. All right. So we're going to start with the ground beef. So you're going to open these up.
Let me wash my hands.
Wash your hands, and we're going to start with that. So chili is a really easy thing. Now we're using ground beef today, but you could also, if you wanted to use steak, you know, like a roast of some kind, you could also use steak. That takes a little bit longer. I want you to be careful though. If you're going to use steak, don't use good meat if you're going to cook it for a long time on the stove. Good meat is good when it's tender and moist. If you cook it too long, it gets tough. But when you use cheap, inexpensive beef, like a chuck roast or something.
Like me, cheap meat. We stay flavorful.
That's what you are, flavorful. You are flavorful.
Yeah.
But if
you
you're
don't know that
going to use, so go ahead and start with the meat.
What do I do with it?
You're just going to put it in the pan and you're going to just break it up and cook it till it's brown, all right?
Like you are dealing with a real, like...
But when you're done, you are going to know how to make
You'll
chicken.
be so proud of myself.
So we're using a ground sirloin that's 10% fat. You can use that if you like. You can use one that has 20% fat, 30% fat. It's up to you. You're going to drain the fat off. I just find there's more
Both
flavor.
of them?
Both of them.
Okay.
Start with one though.
All right, did it.
All right. So you're going to drain the fat off of the meat, so it doesn't really matter. But ground sirloin with 10% just has a better flavor overall for it. So.
Look, Mom, I'm cooking.
There you go.
Am I doing it so good so far?
You're doing it good so far. Actually, I have a better tool you can use.
I love a good tool.
This is a good tool.
Oh, Mitch, you're supposed to cook with this?
You cook with that.
What do you...
So,
Okay.
in and turn.
In and turn.
In and turn. You know how to do that.
It's all in the wrist. It's all in the wrist.
It is all in the wrist. That explains my carpal tunnel. Anyways, Joe's about to fall down.
I have no idea.
He's just over there like trying.
Why are we getting the highest ratings?
Or the wrong rating we could get too. You
This
never
is
know.
going on OnlyFans, right?
Yeah, it's our OnlyFans
Okay.
page. If Orlando comes, we can do it on OnlyFans.
Woo, let me call them.
So, how long have you been doing music?
My whole life.
Your whole life? So you started as a DJ when?
Well, my girl is only 2 years old.
Yeah, because that's when you were busking.
Yeah.
So I met her on the street.
As one
As one
does.
does. I met her on the street, and she was dressed up even more elaborate than this, and she had a little tiny boom box, I guess, sound box.
No, I had a good speaker system.
Yeah, good speaker, but you were like out there, like just going to town and
Playing it, yeah.
and
people liked it.
People did like it. So, and I drove by in a cart, and I saw her, and I was like, oh my God, she's fabulous. And she's just continued to prove to be fabulous.
So the story has it that I grew up in a musical household. My mother was a dance teacher.
Yep.
And a musical theater director. So lore has it that when she was pregnant with me, she was directing the musical Guys and Dolls.
Yeah.
And every time she rehearsed the number, Sit Down, You're Rockin' the Boat, I literally she had to sit down because I was doing triple time tap in rhythm.
In the womb.
Yes, and so I grew up with a dance studio in my house. My bedroom was right over it, and it's just as a part of my life.
Yeah.
So then I had quite a career creating musicals and TV shows for children, and had a big touring company.
Oh, wow.
And like made a hip hop musical for NASA to teach kids about the solar system. So a whole like schoolhouse rock approach to education.
Yeah.
And worked with millions of children and the Obama White House and Nickelodeon and PBS.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know I actually had a celebrity in the house.
Yeah. And not just a good meat masher.
Not just a good meat masher.
Jesus, it's like, no wonder you gave me this job. This is like work.
It's
Is it looking good?
It's looking
How's
good.
my meat, Mitch?
Your meat looks very well
If I had a nickel.
So while you're cooking that up, so over here I gave you the directions, right?
Oh, okay.
So once we have the meat done, we're going to take it out and drain it. And
All
I
right.
will give you a colander to do that with.
And so when you drain it, this is a real question. Like,
Yes.
do you put it like down the sink, or do you drain it in a? My mom had this Crisco pan that was like
every mom has a
under the
Crisco
sink.
pan. Yeah, no, I just dump it down the sink.
Okay.
Yeah, the Crisco pan's a bit, but I do buy, believe it or not, you can buy bacon grease. So I actually buy bacon grease to cook with, so I don't have to save it.
Got it.
So if you don't believe that, you can see here, bacon grease. So you can actually buy it in the store.
Bacon up.
Bake it up, and you can add that bacon flavor if you like. I try not to use a lot of grease. I'm kind of going outside of my norm with what I'm cooking tonight because it's not as healthy as everything else I would cook, but it's so good. It's so good. And we're going to drain the fat off, so we're okay. All right. So that's probably good. So you're going to...
Can I take this home?
You can.
Joke. Yeah, so then anyway, I was directing a dance film a few years ago, and I heard myself say, if I could do it all over again, I'd be a DJ. And then I thought, why don't I? So I decided to, there's so many events and parties and out here in Palm Springs, and so I became a DJ, and it was off to the races. I really created a mod girl monster.
Turn that down for just a minute because I got to talking with you and I should have been cutting.
That's what happened. Welcome to my kitchen tales.
Right, so we're going to cut up our peppers. Now, with the peppers, you can, I will sometimes put my peppers in my air fryer and roast them.
Okay.
So I can get roasted peppers, but because I've got roasted green peppers, I don't really need to worry about that. So we're just going to cut these into chunks. I like chunky chili.
Yeah.
You know, you're supposed to get some crunch and some fun out of it.
I like a mouthful.
You like a mouthful. I think I've lost control of my show.
You lost control when you asked me.
I did lose control when I asked you, yes. All right. So let's get that warmed up again. And I'm going to give you these peppers, and you're going to start to saute them.
Okay.
And I'm going to do one more pepper. Just spin those around a little bit. Don't let them burn. So when you're cutting your pepper, you want to be sure and cut the membranes out that are on the inside and get those seeds out. There we go. I made, for one of my clients today, I made stuffed peppers.
I love stuffed peppers.
And super easy to make.
Really?
Yep. I will give you a recipe tonight. Stuffed peppers are a Greek, actually, dish. And it really is good. And you can put lamb or beef or whatever you like in the interior. There we go. So I think that's enough. And then we're going to use an onion. Now you can buy the onions already diced up in your store. So again, you know, some of this prep is easier done if you just buy it already done.
That's how I cook.
But you also pay for that. So if you're trying to cook on a budget and you're buying everything, you know, already prepped, you know, like all the onions cooked up, this onion's $1. You buy it in a package already cut up, it's $4.
Got it.
You know, so if you're on a budget, you kind of want to, and it only takes a second. Now, if you don't like, and I was going to show you this, do you have a food processor at home? Probably not.
What's that?
You know those big food processors people used to have? And you put a single onion through, and you have this machine that took 4 hours to clean. So I found this handy dandy little tool.
Oh. So you don't have to...
You just put it in. Again, you're working the wrist.
As one does.
As one does.
That makes that easy. I want to get one of those, actually.
And there we go. Here it goes.
Oh, you put the machine in it.
Give me back my piece. And in we go. So you can do it this way. You can cut them up yourself. This takes
so you like these big chunks?
I do like the big
All
chunks.
right. Mitch, what got you into cooking?
I actually went to school to be a chef. I went to Cordon Bleu.
Wow.
And graduated. And then when I realized that I couldn't be Julia Child or Graham Kerr or any of the other, you know, BAM TV celebrities. So I went in and started just doing corporate America and did that for until I was like 40. and I retired when I was 40 and got back into my cooking.
And you love it.
I love it. Yeah, this is what I do for a living. Actually, I cook for mostly LGBTQ seniors that could otherwise not be home, stay home. So I go home, I go into their homes and prep food for them so they can warm it up and eat nutritious meals. And they get some company at the same time. And yeah, so that's all of my client base are LGBTQ seniors.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so it's nice. It feels good. And I'm making great food and I get to cook, you know, whatever I want to cook.
It's great.
So it makes it so much easier. So we've got the onions going. Yes.
Yep, they're going.
Turn that up a little bit and get some sizzle on it.
My arm hurts. When's it gonna be done?
Right, so you know who are girls that always want everything done right away. I don't know. So I'm going to bring all these little spices over to you because you're going to be adding these in.
Fun. Are they all measured up? I just pour them?
Read your directions.
Okay. Add onion, pepper, did it. 3 to 5. Okay, add garlic and cook until fragrant, about 30 seconds.
Okay, so we've got garlic.
All right. Oh, I
scoop it in.
Scoop-diddy-doop-diddy.
Scoop-diddy-doop-diddy.
I think that's the technical term.
That is a technical term. So what else do we need? So we add the garlic, and we're going to add the beef back in that we've already cooked.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
My high school boyfriend,
yes.
his grandmother was on the Where's the Beef commercial.
Nedra Bolts.
She wasn't the one who said it. She was one of the 3 ladies.
So Nedra was my next door neighbor.
Really?
Yes. So, yeah, it was so funny because when she did the commercial, that was the whole thing on the neighborhood. Where's the beef?
Right?
For those of you who don't remember who that is, Burger King used to have a spokesperson. Her name was Nedra Bolts, but she was always behind like an old car. Where's the beef? So we would have. She was a great person. But I have a family music background. My cousin is Davy Jones.
Oh my God!
And my godmother was Della Reese.
Way to bury the lead,
right.
Mitch. What the hell?
So when I was young and the Monkees were big, I would take T-shirts that were just my white T-shirts and I'd cut them up into little bits and I'd claim they were my cousins. And girls would buy them from me, the bits. So I'd make like the bits, like a little bit of this T-shirt. $5, $5. I'd make my spending money every week.
Oh my God.
My mom's like, where are you getting all that money? I'm like,
Wow, you're an entrepreneur.
On my cousin's back, literally.
Okay.
All right, so you've got all that in. So now we're going to add all of the remaining spices that we have here.
Okay, does it matter what order?
Doesn't matter what order. There's the brown sugar.
Sugar.
There's the chili powder.
Nice. Do I need to
You're going to...
It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter. Ancho chili powder.
Okay.
Onion powder.
All right.
Red cayenne pepper.
Ooh, spicity-dicity.
We have ancho chili, salt and pepper, and cumin. That's a good word. Cumin.
Cumin.
All right, and then we're going to...
Oh, it looks good. Smells good.
Smells amazing. We're going to add the bacon bits in that we cut up. So that's 5 bacon pieces. So the whole thing with chili is you just keep adding layer upon layer upon layer. So we let all that cook in together just for a minute. The next thing we're going to add is our fire roasted tomatoes. And I'm going to add 1 can for now. I may add a second can. Depending how big your pot is that you're cooking in, you've got to kind of keep that in place. You're also adding all the moisture that was in the can. Those were the kidney beans, black beans. Now it looks like chili, right?
Yeah, it's looking good. This is a hearty situation in here.
Green chilies.
Wow. This is all from Edna?
This is all from Edna. This is the whiskey Worcestershire sauce. There we go. And what do we have left? Tomato paste. Use your little spatula and get that out of there.
All of it?
All of it.
All right. This is a two-hander.
There you go.
As
I say. We're having too much fun here, ma'am.
Yeah, I haven't had this much fun in the kitchen ever.
Ever. And then we're going to add some beef broth.
Oh, wow. The whole thing?
About 3 cups.
So you can just like glug, glug, glug that out.
Yeah, like you can with liquor, right?
Right? That's not exactly what I glug, glug, but whatever you want to say.
Whatever you want to say. And then we're going to add a little bit. This is
What's that stuff?
So this is a highly reduced beef stock.
Okay.
So it's just to add a little bit of depth. And that will melt inside of the heat. So just stir it around. So what I just put in was it's basically beef broth that has been cooked down with the bones and everything, and then you get this gel-like creation. So it's a highly reduced beef broth, and it just adds a whole lot of depth and flavor to it. So how's it going?
Well, will you look at that? We're cooking.
Look, you've got a pot of chili. Let's have a taste. No.
I would imagine it's a little warm.
Got a good, nice spice to it.
Does it?
Yes.
Good.
So, we've got that cooking. We're going to let it simmer for a couple minutes. Now, what do you do with chili once you put it in the bowl? You got to add stuff to it, right? So.
Oh, I see. That was a trick question.
That was a trick question. So these are all toppings that I like to put on chili. So we've got some roasted corn, cheese, more bacon, sour cream, onions, cilantro.
I like to just plop this right on it.
Right, the whole thing?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you the best way to cut an avocado. So once you cut it in half, take your knife, and you can feel it, you can feel it pushing against the skin. Don't go all the way through because you'll cut your hand. Wow. Want to hand me a spoon, little spoon out of that drawer right there? So I've cut it up in little cubes. Take the edge of my spoon and voila.
Guess what? It's the way I cut an avocado.
Is it really?
It is.
Oh my gosh, see?
So I'm basically a chef.
So you are a chef.
I mean, I don't want to brag, but basically.
But it's the easiest way to cut up an avocado.
It is.
Don't make it so hard on yourselves.
You know what I don't like about avocados?
What?
The surprise. Sometimes.
Oh, the flavor? Yeah.
No, the brown. Like sometimes you're like, that was a dud.
Well, you gotta, it's one of those things they gotta be soft on this side when you buy it, but not brown or where it really, you can push it and it falls in. All right. So, we've got this beautiful
Looking
mixture.
good.
Doesn't that look good?
Yeah.
You can see this too from this camera, yeah? So we've got this beautiful pot of chili with peppers and beans and kidney beans and black beans and red peppers and beef and onions and all kinds of wonderful stuff. So when we go to serve it, we'll do a bowl here, and then we're gonna get the ladle.
And so you cook it without the lid.
If you were gonna use like chuck roast in this, you'd have to cook it for 2 or 3 hours because you gotta let that beef tender up. Because we're using beef and all the flavors, it's gonna be just fine the way it is. All right. So we get a nice bowl of it. And then, a little spoon here, a little dab of sour cream, a little bit of cheese, a bit of avocado.
Wow, I love it.
Bacon bits, a bit of roasted corn, some onions. And for the final bit, a little bit of cilantro. And there we have it.
We did it!
Award-winning chili. You're going to love it when we taste it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming into my kitchen today.
Thank you.
Learning how to cook. This was a great recipe. I'm so thankful to have Kellee here in the kitchens with me. Next week we have a new guest coming in. Every week, every Wednesday we film. We put the shows up on Thursday. So please be sure to like us, follow us. Look for DJ Kellee online. She's everywhere. Like her. And I'll put a link up to her page so you can enjoy her music also.
Awesome.
All right?
Thanks, Mitch.
Love you.
I'm
Thank you.
starving.
Let's eat. All right. Thank you. We'll see y'all later in the kitchen.
Bye.
Bye.